Mass. I am your host, Kimberly Singh, and of course, if we're talking Trinidad and Tobago Carnival, we cannot speak about Trinidad and Tobago Carnival without speaking about the early morning rise, the mud, the powder, and maybe some water too. We're talking about Jouvert. And I have joined with me is none other than Andrew from Poudre. Thank you for joining with me.
Hi, Kim. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody.
So tell me, Jouvert, specifically to Poudre, what is the difference between this particular Jouvert bag?
Okay, so for Poudre, it's more about our shtick, or what you might call our gimmick, right? Or our selling point. Our major selling point is that we pay homage to traditional mass, traditional Jouvert, the carnival characters that were born out of the Jouvert and out of the original Cangolais.
Okay.
Right? So that's what Poudre is all about. So we take modern Jouvert and pay homage to traditional mass.
And I absolutely love that. I think that that is a tune I've been hearing throughout South. Whenever I interview anybody from South pertaining to carnival and mass and that type of thing, I keep hearing that. The tradition being held, yes, you modernize it a bit, but you're keeping that tradition within the carnival, within the mass. And I think that that is very, very important because we have a lot of people, a lot of kids, millennials even don't understand and don't know about the traditional type of carnival, type of mass. But Jouvert in itself, what is Jouvert about? Because to me, I see Jouvert and I think it's much more free than Pretty Mass. It's much more just, you can be yourself totally.
Yeah.
So tell me in your own words, what do you think about Jouvert, the difference between that and the Pretty Mass?
Well, I'll just pull from what you said. It's all born in the history of Jouvert, right? Because the masquerade was what the slave masters, the plantation owners, and their bouge, right, is what they did before the Lenten fasting and whatnot. So the slaves now, they did their own thing in their backyards, in their little communities, the slave communities. So they would even imitate the pretty masquerade that the slave owners did. So they put a little more of their folklore and their traditions into it. So sometimes you'll see the Dame Lorraine, which is a mimicking of the pretty masquerade that the plantation owners used to do.
But do you think in recent years, over the decades, we've been losing that tradition? We've been losing that touch that makes Trinbago's carnival so distinct and different from any carnival in the world.
Well, that's where Poudre comes in.
I love it.
That's where Poudre comes in.
You're solving a problem.
Yes. So the traditional mass is being lost, the old mass, people not going out to old mass and not paying attention to it anymore. So Poudre pays homage to traditional mass. So when we came out in 2019, we came out with Pay the Devil, which was a tribute to the Blue Devils. Then the next year, we did the Perogrenade, Palette de Couleurs, right? Yes, Poudre is French for powder, but it's actually pronounced Poudre. So like Jouvert, right? Poudre, Poudre, but we Caribbean, so we say Poudre, so it's easy for people to...
Jouvert.
It's easy for people to say. Poudre, Jouvert, easy to say, right?
But I want to chat a bit about what you guys are doing this year specifically, in terms of your colors, in terms of what you're focusing on for this year's carnival.
Okay, this year's carnival, we're focusing on the Whip Master, which is the Jab, right? As opposed to the Red Devils, the Blue Devils, even the Jab Molassie, those are all Jab versions of the Black Devils, which is the Jab Molassie, which is the molasses, right? But the Whip Master is what you call the Jab, right? And the Whip Master is covered in colors, kind of like the Perogrenade, but colors and lots of mirrors and stuff, because when they do their whip competitions, it's all about distracting your opponent. So there's a lot of flashing lights, reflections and stuff, to confuse your opponent. So when you're whipping. So we chose the Whip Master this year because of the colors. So even though we have our base colors, the purples and the yellows, right? What we put in on is what you'll see when you come and get your package. That's the surprise. That's what we'll be going on the road with. So our homage to the traditional mask is what we add to the modern Jouvert jersey and pants, or monokini, or drawstring pants, whatever. So what we add is what we do in paying homage to traditional mask.
And that definitely makes you guys stand out from the rest. So when persons want to get in contact with you guys, how can they do that? How can they get their nice little package going from you all?
Okay, so you can go online at Poudre Jouvert, at poudrejouvert.com. You can check us on Facebook, IG, and TikTok at Poudre Jouvert. And you can use the hashtag on any social media, hashtag We Play with Poudre. It'll take us to any one of our take you to any one of our landing pages. And our hotline, I'm supposed to know this offhand. Our hotline 749-8000. That's 749-8000. 749-8000.
I love how the voice changed. It switched. It switched on a very, very professional voice there. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, it has been a pleasure speaking with you, Mr. Andrew. Getting to know a bit about Poudre itself, why it stands out, a bit about Jouvert. I think a lot of people now don't even understand where that history comes from, and they just think, okay, we're just playing with mud and powder and a little water, we mix them in it. A lot of people don't understand what is the meaning and the tradition behind it. So I want to thank you. You're very knowledgeable about this. I'm glad I got the opportunity to chat with you on this.
Thanks a lot, Kim. Thank you, WinTV. And thank you, all of you. We will see you on the road Monday and Tuesday. You're coming? You're coming? You're coming?
I should come.
All right, you should come. Definitely.
Well, guys, we'll be right back with more of Play Mass. When we come back, we'll be chatting with someone who will be on the road with Poudre. That's Joshua Regrello. We'll be right back.
Look, we there, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Of course, when we're talking carnival, we're talking about Trinidad and Tobago. We must have that conversation about sweet, sweet pan. And who else to talk about pan but the pan man himself, Joshua Regrello.
Play master here, Kim. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, it's such a pleasure to be able to catch up with you. And one of the things that I really want to have a conversation with you about is your history with pan. Because I see you playing all the time, but I never got your story and where this passion comes from.
My history with pan is synonymous with the history of my life.
Okay.
I grew up playing pan. When I say grew up, I'm talking about when I was about 3. Well, first of all, my dad was a steel band captain, was and is a steel band captain. So I literally grew up in a pan yard. Think Lion King, think Simba being raised to the animals. I was raised to the pan yard. No joke. I went straight to the pan yard as a baby.
Wow.
And I was always in the pan yard. My mom used to like travel plenty for work. So she hates when I say that, but she used to like travel. She was about that bread. She was about the bread, getting it done. So we was always in the pan yard with my dad, my brother and I. And from as little as 3, I had a souvenir pan. And then I graduated to like an actual pan. But growing up, I always had a pan with me. Throughout every phase of my life, I had a pan with me.
That's so beautiful. I know that a lot of times people say that pan is something dying, is something not necessarily trending with the young crowd. But the way that you bring it across, the fun and the energy that you bring with the pan, makes it something that even I want to learn to play pan.
Yeah. I would tell anybody who says that to go to the pan yards. Like if you go to any pan yard, there's so much youth, and almost all steel bands have youth orchestras. So there's so many youth in pan right now. But I also would encourage everybody to just go to the pan yard. Like that's the best way to just feel it. Yeah, you have to immerse. You have to go in the pan yard. Like not even go panorama. You have to go in the pan yard and see what's going on. When you see what's going on, then you have a great appreciation for it. And
okay, so explain to me what happens in a pan yard, since it's something you can't explain.
I could, because it is, the beauty in it is that it's like 100, let's say 100 people,
right,
practicing night after night to make one sound for 8 minutes. A panorama song is 8 minutes.
Right.
They are practicing for like 2 months basically for 1 8 minutes, and it just shows you how dedicated we could be, how dedicated we are as a people, but it also shows you how musical we are, because these are not like professional musicians. These are, most of these people are people who just say, boy, I feel like I'm play panorama.
So then what you're saying is that
you can play panorama.
Really?
No, really, no joke.
You're kidding. I didn't know it was structured that way.
Yeah, and that's the same thing. I mean, like Trinidadians are so musical, and only when you go to like even think about Bottle and Spoon.
Right.
Anybody can
I hit a bottle and spoon already.
And you have timing.
Yeah.
And the timings that you will be hitting on that, the rhythms you will be hitting, very musical.
Now you inspire me to go to a pan yard, and I feel like I want to do one before this season is over.
Just go. Like go and just sit down and just watch and just immerse yourself in it and observe, and it is amazing. Like when you watch the discipline that these players have, when you watch just the passion they have doing it every single night, you're like, wait, what? And then you have to do it. Like, I'm so excited talking about it. Because I was in the pan yard last night.
Okay.
So you need to just go and see it.
But you would have played in panorama.
Yeah, no, I played in the panorama since I'm 7.
And you have continued, or is something that you kind of phased out?
If I in play, I think I've only missed like 2 panoramas.
Okay.
I was there waving flag.
All right.
On stage. I don't miss it. I am there.
Okay. I feel the vibe and the energy when it comes to panorama. Well, the pan yard for practicing for panorama. I've never really considered going to a pan yard, but now like I said, I most certainly have to. But I want to get back to you and your brand, Joshua Regrello, the Pan Man. You're so interesting in terms of this product that you have been able to promote to us and share with us. How did this whole persona come about?
I think about it every single day. I have no idea. I think it was never intentional. I think it was just a matter of I was just performing regularly.
Right.
And in doing so, people just started to be like, hey, look the pan man, look a pan man, look the pan man, like that kind of vibe.
Okay.
It's like, like people will see your interviews and say, look the girls who do the interviews.
Right.
And it just started to happen more and more and more and more. They started to see me more and more regularly.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, they just kept calling me the pan man, the pan man. And I think when I launched that album like 2 years ago, and I said, okay, here what? I'll just say the Pan Man. And since then, I guess the name stuck. But it was never intentional for me to be like, okay, I can call myself the pan man. So now
Okay.
when people call me the pan man, I'm like, how this happened, but it's really interesting.
But you have also kind of, I wouldn't say moved away from pan, but you also have your own little songs with your lyrics, and how that came about.
Just being an entertainer.
Okay.
And wanting to be able to diversify what I do as a performer. So I like when because a lot of people don't expect it, and a lot of people don't know about it. So I like when I'm performing, they'll give me, hey, what pan man, you have 10 minutes on stage.
Right.
So I'll play 8 minutes of pan, and in the end, I'll pull the mic and I start to sing. And I like that moment when the audience is like,
You could do that.
what pan man? So it is just about diversifying. So I just had my concert, and the concert was themed around the Greatest Showman.
Yes,
And
I saw that. It looks lovely.
Thank you so much. So it's like about being the Greatest Showman, being able to play pan, jump a girl and sing, go back there. Eventually a girl dancing with it too. But it's
you
about
dance too?
No, not yet.
You're getting there.
Yeah, not yet. But it's about making
All around.
Yeah, making this fun. I try to make pan fun for me and
Yeah.
cool for me. So when I up there, I can enjoy myself. And
But it definitely translates to us, the audience. We definitely can feel that good vibe that you bring. We could feel the energy. We could feel your passion, because I can tell that you love what you do.
yeah, no, I do, and I love entertainment. And I think a lot of panists forget that this is entertainment.
Yeah, at the end of the day. it
Yeah,
is.
when you go on stage there on your program, almost every time they say entertainment and your name is next to it. So
The
you have to
pan
give, you have to give people entertainment.
It's time for us to go to a quick break. We'll be back with more of Play Mass with Joshua Regrello.
Look, we there, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Welcome back to Play Mass, and of course I have joined with me Joshua Regrello, the Pan Man. And before we went to break, we chatted a little bit about your concert. So I want to delve a little more into how your concert came into being, because of course, you know, you would have been doing gigs for a long time, but now you've graduated. You have your very own concert. Tell me how that came about.
I think from as long as I can remember, I've always dreamt of having my own concert.
Okay.
It was just one of those things, you're like, one day I could do this.
Headlining.
Yeah, but the thing is, I never ever think about it as my own concert.
Okay.
Never. And it's only like when we in the plan, I'm like, this is really just regular in concert, and it is a scary thought. I think that's why I don't think about it, because it's too overwhelming.
Yeah.
But it's always been a dream of mine. I'm just very grateful that I'm finally able to do it, and I'm able to have something like this.
Because it takes a great leap of faith to go from just performing in gigs, you know, getting your name out there and stuff, to now moving into that arena where you're doing business, you're conducting business.
Yeah, no, it is.
I can imagine it's nerve-wracking, but you seem to have marketed yourself in such a way that people want to come to your concert, clearly.
Yeah, I don't understand it, but it's...
How you mean you don't understand it?
I don't know, it's wild to me, like, because this is also the 3rd year.
Right.
And it's annual, and the fact that there are people who've come to all is wild to me. I'm just like, wow.
It's on their calendar.
Yeah, it's like, I'm waiting for Panama next year. And I'm just like, this is so scary. This is so scary. Because I don't know, I'm very self-conscious. So I'm on stage there and I'm like,
I will never guess though.
Because you're just on stage, you're just thinking, I've just been enjoying this. Like, do you feel like this is worth your money? But I'm very grateful because the reviews are always just, I'm grateful for the reviews. The reviews are always amazing and so touching. So.
But how do you think rather that social media, the way social media has played a part in the way you have been able to present yourself?
Oh, social media has for sure just amplified my presence on a whole. So it's made me more visible, but it's also helped me to become quote unquote just like, not media trained, but just trained as a performer.
Yeah.
You know, okay, no, if I'm doing this behind camera, I want to give the camera energy, I want to do this, and it's translated into real life, or the way you know, if you're doing a video, you might want to say, okay, let me look presentable in this video.
Yeah.
I just translate that now to real life, because I think I grew up in through the school of TikTok and the school of content during the pandemic, so now it's just using all those things, and it really has helped me to real life.
So do you think the pandemic allowed you that opportunity to really be on social media and become a trending, you were trending during, and you continue to be trending on social media locally. People just love your content because yes, you put on the whole pan content, but you also do a whole lot of other content outside of pan.
Yeah, I think the pandemic really allowed me to become myself and be true to who I am. I think I've always been doing content. I've been doing content for years. And before I was always nervous about being yourself, like actually showing your personality. And I guess during the pandemic, there was just a lot of people, a mass amount of people doing content. So I just felt comfortable to do content in that time. And I just really grew into who I am. So now the Joshua that you see is only because of making all that content and literally becoming myself in that pandemic and being with yourself alone in solitude. But it's just you.
And the music that you create.
Yeah.
So there is one in particular that you know which one it is.
I don't want to. Let me hear.
I don't want to sing it.
Wait. Shucks.
There is one in particular that I see you. It literally breaks the ice of a room.
Yeah,
What is the name of that song? Does it
it's
have
called
a name?
Pan School.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not what you
Go
think.
look up Pan School. That's why I don't even want to say what I thought.
Yeah, no, it's called Pan School. It's called Pan School.
Okay.
Pan School.
Go look up Pan School, guys.
Joshua got a Pan School out everywhere now.
Listen, that song clearly breaks the ice.
Yeah.
Once you start with that, you can literally see every video I've seen you perform that song.
Yeah, no, it's
it breaks down walls in such ways that people they're like, what?
Yeah.
And then they literally get so into it.
Because it's a story, it's like clever.
Yes,
so
it is.
It's a story. Like when you listen, like there are 3 verses, and each verse is like actually a story.
And I saw your dad.
Oh no, my dad, every time, like as soon as I perform that song, he just leaves. Him and my sister leave a building.
I saw that because I saw you posted a video.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. And those are the things that is real life.
Yeah.
Because we can't relate to that. We can't relate to our parents being cringe for Pan School again. Guys, go check it out. Y'all will laugh. I promise you, you'll have a good laugh. But things like that, it's reality translated into entertainment. People love it.
I like that phrase, reality translated into entertainment.
Yeah.
I like that phrase.
You're welcome. I should copyright it.
That's clever.
But anyways, we kind of have to wrap up now. I just want the opportunity, to give you the opportunity to share your socials, because I feel as though social media is where it's at, and you have done excellent, exceptional job in selling this product called pan, because again, it's something that you don't necessarily see a lot of young people on social media talking about pan. And even if they go to the pan yard and they are involved in that, it's not like if they out here telling people go learn to play pan or come to the pan yard. But you have made pan such a trending thing. Again, I want to learn to play pan because of you.
Oh.
So share your socials again with the people.
Joshua Regrello and the Pan Man won everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Literally everywhere.
And I promise you guys are going to be thoroughly entertained when you listen to Pan School.
Yeah, do it.
School, do it. Take our word for it. You're going to laugh.
Take Kimberly's word for it.
You're going to have a giggle. You're going to be like, this is not what I was expecting.
Yeah,
That title of the song
when I
is
dropped it,
like
people thought I was actually opening a Pan School. My sister sent it to all her friends, and then when she listened to the song, she had to delete the message.
Oops. So now sister learned to, make sure and check everything.
Verify everything
Before sending it out. Oops. But anyways, that's it from us here at Play Mass. Until next time, I'm Kimberly Singh.